Hi, chapter 20 of The Demon Dentist. Joke shop gnashers. Well, asked Raj, how did they fit? Raj had gone upstairs to his flat above the shop and brought down his late wife's false teeth in a glass of water for the boy to try for size. They looked a bit like those joke shop gnashers that you wind up and watch clatter across the table. To Alfie's surprise, though, they fitted rather well. They weren't perfect. The dentures had been specially made for a middle-aged woman. They rubbed here and there, but they were infinitely better than having no teeth at all. Are you sure you don't mind me borrowing them? Asked Alfie, delighted to discover that he could talk again at last. No. It's what dear Mrs. Raj would have wanted. Thank you so much. Might you have a use for a glass eye, rubber hand, or either of her wooden legs? Alfie was quite taken aback. After all, he had never met the late Mrs. Raj. Not that there seemed that there was very much of her to meet. Very kind of you, but no. Not kind at all, just part of the service. That's why people should always support the smaller local shops. You wouldn't get that from a supermarket. True, replied Alfie, though he wasn't sure many customers at a supermarket would need a loan of some second-hand false teeth. Though I would advise you not to go anywhere near a toffee, warned the newsagent. I remember these dentures came clean out of my late wife's mouth when she bit into an out-of-date toffo I gave her on our silver wedding anniversary. I will remember that, said Alfie. So how can we stop Root? My teeth were bad, but not that bad. There's no way on earth she needed to take out all of them. She's evil. Now I come to think of it, pondered the newsagent, there have been strange goings-on in this town ever since she arrived, like children putting their teeth under their pillows and finding something nasty in the morning. Exactly, exclaimed Raj. How did you know? Happened to my girlfriend, Gabs. Your girlfriend? Ooh, cooed Raj. No, exclaimed Alfie. She isn't my girlfriend. Gabs is just a friend who's a girl. Your friend girl? Alfie thought it was easier to simply agree. Yes, I suppose so. Gabs has drawn a map charting exactly where and when the teeth were snatched. The whole thing is sickening. When I was little, or at least smaller than I am now when I lost a tooth, I would put it under my pillow. And when I woke up, I would find a coin in its place from the tooth fairy. Well, your mum and dad must have left it there, replied Alfie. Raj looked mightily confused. But they told me it was the tooth fairy. Alfie sighed. He was very nearly a teenager. To still believe in tooth fairies was just plain silly. As far as he was concerned, the thought that a tiny winged figure in a tutu holding a wand came into your room at night to leave money under your pillow was preposterous. However, he didn't want to hurt the newsagent's feelings. Well, I think sometimes it might be the tooth fairies, but when they are busy, mums and dads help out, replied Alfie. Go on, Raj. Well, quite a few of my younger customers woke up this morning to find not a coin, but all sorts of nasties under their pillow. Like what? Asked Alfie. Oh, there were cockroaches. Anything else? Oh, let me think. Dead worms, a live rat, a toad that had been flattened by a mallet and dried out in the sun until it was crispy. The boy brought his hand up to his mouth. He felt sick at the thought of all these horrors. Still, his ghoulish curiosity got the better of him, and he wanted to hear more. Was that all? He inquired. No. Raj took a deep breath. Are you sure you want to know the most gruesomest one? Yes and no, replied Alfie, but mainly yes. Raj took a deep breath before telling him. An old man's toenail. No, cried Alfie. Yes, nobody knows who it belonged to. All big and thick and dirty it was, with all this dried pus around the edge. Stop! Shouted Alfie. You said you wanted me to tell you, protested Raj. Yes, but I didn't know it was going to be that disgusting. Alfie thought for a moment. And none of these children saw a thing? The newsagent shook his head. Not one. Nobody saw a thing. It's a mystery. And how could one person possibly get round to all those children in one night? Alfie pulled himself up onto the shop's counter and sat there next to the till. But there must be some kind of connection with Miss Root. There must be. I swear she's evil, he said. We need to catch her red-handed, lay some sort of trap. Alfie fell silent and stared into space. Raj looked at him. A trap? Asked the newsagent. I'm thinking, Raj. Oh, my apologies. Raj mooched around awkwardly for a few moments. Would a mint help focus the mind? I've got it, exclaimed Alfie. His eyes were shining and he leapt off the counter in excitement. Got what? A plan. How we can catch the tooth snatcher. Great, my boy. That's brilliant. How can I help? Alfie looked right into Raj's eyes for a moment. He knew what he was about to say was not going to go down well at all. It's just a very small thing. Yes, said the newsagent. I need to borrow one of your teeth. Chapter 21, Flying Tooth. One of my teeth? Protested Raj. Yes, replied Alfie firmly. I would offer one of mine, but I don't have any left. Raj was not convinced. But why do you need one of my teeth? Alfie paced up and down the penny chew aisle to compose his thoughts. OK, this much we know. Someone or something is taking the children of the town's teeth from under their pillows and leaving something despicable behind, right? Yes, agreed the newsagent. So tonight I'm going to leave a tooth under my pillow when I go to bed, then pretend to be asleep. Coffee revels will keep you awake. I can separate them out from the more palatable flavours. Good plan. Then I will lay in bed with half an eye open to catch the sight of whoever or whatever, the boy gulped in fear, is responsible for this evil. Raj nodded and then looked away so as not to catch Alfie's eye. The newsagent pretended to straighten some packets of pastels. Well, best of luck, young man. I won't keep you any longer. Good day. Alfie watched the newsagent for a while. Eventually he said, Raj? Yes? Aren't you forgetting something? No, I don't think so, replied Raj a little too quickly. Don't want to keep you, so, your tooth? Raj looked more than a little panicked and slowly approached Alfie. I would love to lend you one of my teeth. Well, I suppose it would be more of a gift, said the shopkeeper, but, prompted the boy. I'm scared of taking it out. It's going to hurt. Alfie's brain had been processing different ways they could remove one of Raj's teeth. There seemed to be a sliding scale of pain. Let's have a look. We've got the pain scale here. Minimum pain, bearable pain, maximum pain, oh my goodness, and make it stop now. Down here we've got try and tempt it out with the promise of a highly paid advert for toothpaste. Eat sugar cubes day and night for 50 years and wait for it to fall out. Wiggle it for years until it finally comes loose. Bite into an out-of-date toffee and then remove toffee and tooth in one go. Tie a piece of string from the tooth to the door and then slam the door. Crunch into a mint humbug without sucking it first. Poke it out with a pencil. Attach the tooth to a dog using a piece of cord and then call the dog's name from the other side of the room. Ask a professional snooker player to pot it out with his cue. And finally, get a big fat boy to flick a conker at it. That sounds painful. Tying the tooth to a door and slamming it seemed by far the best option, not least because it would be over in a second. What's more, Raj sold string in his shop. It was, of course, kept underneath the bodybuilding magazines. Reluctantly, Raj went along with the plan. First, Alfie tied one end of the string to the newsagent's tooth. Next, he carefully measured out the distance from Raj, who had to stand behind the counter, to the open door. Then, With just a tiny bit of slack, he tied the other end of the string to the open door's handle. "All right, Raj. Stay very still and I will count down from 3. On 1, I will slam the door," pronounced Alfie. "Okay?" Raj had screwed up his face in anticipation of the pain. "Yes," he said, tears already forming in his eyes. Alfie slowly began the countdown. 3, 2... Before he could say 1, a little old lady came in through the open door and pushed it shut behind her. There she is, the little old lady, comes in, pushes the door shut, and look what happens. "Ah!" screamed Raj as his tooth shot across the shop, hitting the poor old dear on her head. "You said 1. You said you would slam the door on 1, the shopkeeper protested. Alfie rushed over to the old lady, who was rubbing her forehead and looking utterly dazed and confused. "Are you all right?" he asked. "Yes, I think so, dear. I only came in for a scratch card and a bag of bonbons." "Ah, Mrs. Morrissey, my favourite customer." Raj gathered himself and approached the lady with the items. "Here we are. And don't worry, madam, there is no extra charge for being hit in the head with my flying tooth." The befuddled old lady reached into her purse and handed him the money, before the newsagent gently guided her out of his shop. Meanwhile, Alfie gathered up the string and smiled at discovering Raj's tooth was still at the end of it. He briefly examined its chips and stains before popping it in his pocket. "Thanks, Raj. This will be the bait. Well, best of luck, young Alfred, and I expect you to come here to the shop the first thing tomorrow morning to tell me if you saw anything in the night." "I will." Raj rushed back to his counter. Quickly, he sorted through a dozen or so packs of Revels, putting all the coffee ones in a big bag. Then he carefully resealed them all with a glue stick. "Nearly forgot. Here's your bag of coffee-only Revels to keep you awake. There might be the odd raisin one in there, as they're very similar shape." The newsagent placed the bag in the boy's hand and held it tight for a moment. He looked straight into Alfie's eyes and whispered, "For goodness sake, boy, be careful." "I will, Raj." Ding! The boy opened the door to leave. "One last thing," whispered Raj. "Yes?" "Don't tell anyone I've tampered with these bags of Revels." And we'll see what happens with the rest of the story.